Erica Kirk, when she took over for Charlie at Turning Point, said it was her mission to reach young women. Charlie reached young men. Her mission is to reach young women. Because in part what we've seen is while young men have gotten more conservative, young women have gone really far to the left.
I really respect Erica for all that she's done, especially with creating a halftime show for America.
For America? That is Kansas City Chiefs heiress Gracie Hunt, a billionaire, applauding a rich mega millionaire. Let's be clear what she's saying.
The last thing I want to talk to you about is because I'm about ready to do my commentary on it, but do you think Bad Bunny is a good choice for the Super Bowl?
I'm not that knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine, and I don't know why it's a big deal. Seems like a great American artist, so sure.
He's not an American artist, but
he's Puerto Rican. That's part of America, dear.
She likely believes what Tomi Lahren doesn't have the IQ to understand. Bad Bunny is American. Spell it out, y'all. And yeah.
Aha. Okay. It makes sense. They're just trying to shove woke ideology down America's throat in the platform of the Super Bowl. It makes sense. It's not because of who Bad Bunny is. It's because they want us woke. And that's really what it is, courtesy of Jay-Z and Obama.
Yeah. I mean, who are we going to have next year? P. Diddy? I look forward to Sean Diddy Combs in his comeback tour. I mean, that's Jay-Z's other best friend. So you tell me whether this is an active middle finger to all of MAGA and the right wing by putting this guy who likes to dress in women's dresses and who hates the United States so much he won't come here because he's worried about ICE raiding his concert as our Super Bowl entertainment.
I think it's more than a middle finger just to MAGA and conservatives in this country. I think it's a middle finger to what America is all about. You know, I don't watch football myself, but, you know, I remember watching the Super Bowl last year and seeing Kendrick Lamar perform. And I remember thinking if my grandparents were still alive, like, what would they think about watching this? Like, can't you put people on who actually represent true American values?
They either twist themselves into pretzels with their arguments.
You know, children are young, they're impressionable, and women and young men, everyone really just needs something to look up to. And as someone who doesn't yet have young children of my own, I can't imagine how difficult that is to navigate. But I think she's done an incredible job leading Turning Point, leading young women, and really leading an alternative for young Americans. Football's becoming the world sport, but at its heart, it's America's sport, built around family. When my grandfather named the Super Bowl, he intended it to be something that children and families of all ages could come together and watch, and really believed that the game should come first, that football is the attraction, and that it didn't need to compromise its character or rely on cheap appeal to draw an audience, especially when that approach can alienate so much of the fan base.
Or make themselves look like buffoons. But let's just stop here for a moment. You know who disagrees with your stupidity on the subject?
What are your thoughts on Bad Bunny performing at this year's Super Bowl?
I think it's awesome. And I think our Latina fan base is amazing. And I think when you think about the Super Bowl, you want the #1 performer in the world to be there. We're on a global stage, and we can't ever forget that. Our game goes out to everybody around the world. And to get the premier entertainer to want to be a part of our game, I think is amazing. And I think that we have a mixed culture. I mean, our whole society is based on immigrants that have come here and founded our country. And I think we can celebrate that. And I think the show's going to be amazing.
Charlotte Jones, the daughter of Jerry Jones, who serves as the executive vice president and chief brand officer of the Dallas Cowboys. And we should also note, this whole facade of American values is not only tiresome, but it is a smokescreen for how they truly feel.
This is not Christianity. This is not being religious. This is not practicing your faith appropriately. This is blatant racism. Now, the irony of this advertisement just will never cease to amaze me. It's an all-American halftime show. Bad Bunny is a United States citizen. He's Puerto Rican. He's a United States citizen. Can we all understand that? And that's why I say that this is just blatant racism, because you literally have someone who is a citizen of the United States of America, and that's not good enough. They need an all-American halftime show where they're celebrating faith, family, and freedom. Not only is Bad Bunny a United States citizen, he was raised Catholic. He sang in a Catholic church choir. His mother's a devout Catholic. He speaks about Catholicism in his interviews. So why don't we really just say what this is meant to say? The All-American Halftime Show where you have to be white and speak English. And let me tell you something else. When you say, well, of course you should have to speak English. It's an American halftime show. You want to know something? You want to talk about imposing something on someone? They're hanging the 10 Commandments in elementary schools. When not everyone in that school is Christian, Catholic, believes in the Bible, no one is entitled to have their preference of music as the halftime show.
Still, Gracie Hunt, who is in the top 1% of society, is anything but graceful.
You know, the NFL honors women, the military, this country celebrates communities. And so I think that whoever they select going forward for the halftime show needs to reflect those values more closely. So I respect Erica.
Wow, it sounds like you like the idea of Turning Point's halftime show a lot more than Bad Bunny.
Most definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
One tweeter despised seeing this, writing, "Y'all are actually shocked about what the self-absorbed Gracie Hunt has to say about a halftime show? I'd be less shocked if a natural disaster happened and she didn't post a paragraph about herself only to finish with thoughts and prayers and attach a collage of bikini pictures." The Guardian wrote of the selection of Bad Bunny, "The backlash intensified after Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem warned that immigration agents, quote, will be all over next year's Super Bowl and said only Americans should attend. Bad Bunny has said fears of ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement raids, influenced his decision to exclude the mainland United States from his most recent world tour. She, as in Gracie Hunt, would go on to say, I think that America loves country music. Jason Aldean, who put out a song about sundown towns not too long ago, would be fantastic. Or we could even do a compilation of some fun pop. I'd love to see Ms. Taylor Swift, who she's friends with and snaps photos with all the time, out there at some point once Travis, as in Kelsey, star Kansas City Chiefs tight end, former Hall of Famer, is retired. So am I surprised or shocked that a billionaire would use all the buzzwords in this interview with Will Cain, who is a flat-out doofus, as we have shown many times over, and was shocked that black folks really didn't like him in focus groups when he was on First Take, would give such a cushy, please guys pick me sort of interview? Nah, not surprised in the slightest. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.